And onto this now. 7 Gauteng families are laying to rest freedom fighters who died while in exile during apartheid. The remains of 42 activists were repatriated from Zimbabwe and Zambia back in September by the government. And since then, loved ones have undertaken to rebury the fighters across various provinces back on home soil. The reburial services are part of a broader project by the state to honor and provide closure for families of those who sacrificed their lives in the struggle against the oppressive regime of apartheid. Newzroom Afrika's Katleho Sekhotho joins us now live from Diepkloof in Soweto with more details. Good morning, Katleho, or rather a bittersweet day for many families today. Take us through what happens now and the significance of the occasion.
Good morning, Maschaba. Indeed, a very bittersweet day for the families here in Soweto who will be burying 7 loved ones who were repatriated back in September from the countries of Zambia and Zimbabwe, brought back their mortal remains, brought back to the country, and their reception, they were received at the Waterkloof Air Force Base on the 25th of September, and now the families have the opportunity to give them a dignified send-off and a burial today. And obviously the families struggling through years of not knowing where the remains of their loved ones are, and the remains of those freedom fighters being in those countries for the longest time as they died while in exile, anti-apartheid activists, and really the families having no closure in that sense. So the families, the 7 families, are those of the loved ones. We're talking about Leslie Dube, Stanley Molefe, Thabo and Baby Mbele, Joseph Jezile, Patrick Letalo, and others who will be buried today in Gauteng as well as in parts of KZN. I just want to show you, Maschaba, what's happening. The hearses of the loved ones coming in here today to collect their mortal remains, and I'll just remind you again who those are. It's Leslie Dube, Stanley Molefe, Thabo and Baby Mbele, Philip Jezile, Joseph Tsiye and Patrick Letalo. The 6 will be buried at the West Park Cemetery, and then Patrick Letalo will be laid to rest at the Avalon Cemetery. What we see here is that the TS funerals and tombstones, some members of Operation Dudula who are standing in support of the families, as well as the other officials from the Gauteng government will be here today as well as some from the military veterans. And it is about standing with the families as they go through this process, which has been long and arduous. Of course, families having unanswered questions for many years as to where their loved ones, their remains are. But today, hopefully, there being some closure for them as they have the opportunity to lay them to rest.